Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Gaurang Dhawanlal and with me is Renuka with the evening news. The headlines. Senior BJP leader Pramod Sawant sworn in as Chief Minister of Goa today for second consecutive term. Government to take appropriate action for mitigating price rise of crude oil following geopolitical tension between Russia and Ukraine. Lok Sabha passes Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2022 for inclusion of Darlong community in the list of Tripura. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar calls on President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in Colombo, assures him of India's continued cooperation and understanding with island nation. President Ramnath Kovind presents Padma Awards at Civil Investiture Ceremony 2 in Rashtrapati Bhavan. Former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Kalyan Singh given Padma Vibhushan posthumously. Ruckus in West Bengal Assembly over Birbhum violence issue. BJP leader Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi blames ruling TMC for scuffle. Oscar Awards 2022 announced in Los Angeles. Will Smith wins first Oscar as Best Actor. Dune wins 6 awards and Coda takes 3. And in IPL cricket, match between Lucknow Super Giants and Gujarat Titans underway at Wankhede Stadium, Mumbai. Dr. Pramod Sawant today took oath as the Chief Minister of Goa for the second consecutive time at a grand ceremony attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and top BJP leaders. Governor P.S. Sridharan Pillai administered the oath. Along with Dr. Pramod Sawant, 8 other cabinet ministers also took oath. The ceremony was held at the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Stadium in Talegaon in Goa. More from our correspondent.
विश्वजीत राणे, मोविन गुदीन, रवि नाईक, निलेश काब्राल, सुभाष शिरोडकर, रोहन खंवटे, Govind Gowde, Atanasio Montserrat were given oath as cabinet ministers today. Dr. Sawant was elected as the leader of the BJP Legislative Party and Chief Minister of Goa last Monday. The BJP has won 20 seats in the 40-member house in the Goa Assembly polls with the support of 3 independent MLAs and 2 MLAs of Maharashtrabadi Gomantak Party. The BJP has retained the power. Portfolios to the new ministers are yet to be announced. With Tushar Jadhav, Kesh Thali, Panaji, Goa. AIR News.
In Uttar Pradesh, the swearing-in ceremony of the newly elected members for the 18th Assembly session started today. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath was administered the oath first, being the leader of the House. Leader of Opposition Akhilesh Yadav also took an oath as an MLA. The oath was administered by Pro Tem Speaker Ramapati Shastri. The swearing-in ceremony will continue tomorrow, also from 11 a.m. The election for the Speaker of the Assembly will take place tomorrow afternoon. Speaking to the media prior to the ceremony, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath congratulated the newly elected MLAs and extended good wishes. CM Yogi Adityanath also met the leader of the opposition, Akhilesh Yadav, in the Legislative Assembly.
The government has said that the geopolitical tension between Russia and Ukraine has led to global supply disruptions resulting in steep increase in global commodity prices, including prices of crude oil, gas, edible oils and fertilizers, among others. In a written reply to a question in the Lok Sabha, Minister of State for Finance Pankaj Chaudhary said the government is closely monitoring the global price movements and their impact on the country's economy through trade. He said, to ensure security of crude supplies and to mitigate the risk of dependence on crude oil from a single region, oil public sector undertakings have diversified its petroleum basket and are procuring crude from countries located at various geographical locations like West Asian countries, Africa, North America, South America. The minister added the centre is also committed to supporting initiatives from releases from strategic petroleum reserves for mitigating market volatility and calming the rise in crude oil prices. The Lok Sabha has passed the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2022. The bill seeks to amend the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order 1950 for inclusion of certain community in the list of scheduled tribes in relation to the state of Tripura. The bill proposes to insert Darlong community as a sub-tribe of Kuki in the list of scheduled tribes. Moving the bill in the House, Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda said that the Narendra Modi government is committed to the development of tribal areas and the welfare of tribal community. He said the bill has been brought with an intention to include Darlong community as a sub-tribe of Kuki community in Tripura. He said the amendment is proposed because in hilly area, the people of same community are residing as different sub-tribes and are excluded from the list of long time.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, who is in Sri Lanka, called on President Gotabaya Rajapaksa today in Colombo. They reviewed various dimensions of the close neighbourly relationship. Dr. Jaishankar assured him of India's continued cooperation and understanding. He also called on Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The discussions were followed by the signing of an agreement on supporting Buddhist culture and heritage. The External Affairs Minister virtually toured an ongoing camp in Jaffna on the fitting of the Jaipur Fort. He also virtually inaugurated the Jaffna Culture Centre constructed by India. The External Affairs Minister visited Lanka IOC, a subsidiary of Indian Oil Corporation in downtown Colombo today. Managing Director of Lanka IOC, Manoj Gupta, briefed Dr. Jaishankar on the fuel supply situation. The External Affairs Minister said the Indian line of credit of $500 million is helping the Sri Lankan people in their everyday life. He began his Sri Lanka visit by meeting Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa this morning. Dr. Jaishankar said they discussed the economic situation and India's supportive response. He said India will continue to be guided by the Neighbourhood First policy. The External Affairs Minister will participate in the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation BIMSTEC ministerial meeting tomorrow in Colombo. The Prime Minister of Nepal, Sher Bahadur Deuba, will pay an official visit to India from the 1st to the 3rd of April at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He will be accompanied by his wife, Dr. Arzu Deuba, and a high-level delegation. This will be the first bilateral visit abroad by the Prime Minister of Nepal after assuming office in July last year.
The Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, MSME, and the Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, Ahmedabad, is organizing a 2-day mega international summit on MSMEs from tomorrow in New Delhi. Entrepreneurs, academicians, policymakers, industry leaders, thought leaders, business chambers, industry associations, startups, social impact organizations, MSMEs and self-help groups from India and across the world will attend the summit.
And now here is a review of proceedings in Parliament today. First from the Lok Sabha, the writer is Kumar Rakesh of PTI. The Lok Sabha today passed the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2022 to amend the tribal list in Tripura. Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda asserted that the welfare of the tribal community has been a priority for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as he believes that the country cannot progress without the tribal region's development. The budgetary allocation for the development of the tribal region has seen a constant rise since 2014 as the government has been working to boost human development indices there. The bill proposes to insert the Darlong community as a sub-tribe, Kuki, in the list of scheduled tribes. Replying to the debate, Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda said that the Narendra Modi government is committed to the development of tribal areas and the welfare of the tribal community. He said the bill has been brought with the intention of including the Darlong community as a sub-tribe of the Kuki community in Tripura. He said the amendment is proposed because in hilly areas, people of the same community are residing as different sub-tribes and have been excluded from the list for a long time. The Criminal Procedure Identification Bill 2022 and the Constitution Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Order, Second Amendment Bill 2022, related to Uttar Pradesh, was introduced in the House. It seeks to authorize police to take measurements of convicts and other persons for the purposes of identification and investigation of criminal matters. The bill was introduced by the Minister of State for Home Affairs, Ajay Mishra Teni, after division of votes with 120 members voting in favour of the introduction of the draft legislation and 58 members against it. According to the bill, the Uttar Pradesh government had requested the exclusion of the Gond community living in the newly created districts of Sant Kabir Nagar, Kushinagar, Chandaule and Sant Ravidas Nagar from the list of scheduled castes. it had pressed for the inclusion of Gond, Dhuria, Nayak, Ojha, Pathari and Rajgond communities living in the districts of Sant Kabir Nagar, Khushi Nagar, Chandauli and Sant Ravidas Nagar in the list of scheduled tribes in the state. The government keeps amending the lists originally notified in 1950 based on requests made by various state governments. Manish Tiwari of the Congress said the bill implied the use of force in collection of biological information, which could also lead to narco-analysis. N.K. Premachandran of the RSP, Saugata Roy of the Trinamool Congress, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of the Congress and Ritesh Pandey of the BSP also opposed the introduction of the bill. Ajay Mishra, Minister of State in the Ministry of Home Affairs, dismissed the apprehensions voiced by opposition members and said the bill sought to replace a 102-year-old law that only allowed collection of fingerprints and footprints of the convicts. He said there have been massive changes in science and technology over the years, and the same is required to be incorporated in the investigation of crimes. The minister said consultations on the bill were held with state governments and union territories, and everybody had supported the measure. The introduction of the bill led to a heated discussion after Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of the Congress took a swipe at the minister over the Lakhimpur Kheri incident, in which some farmers were mowed down by speeding vehicles. The Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, attacked the previous UPA regime for its alleged failure to recover money from those who turned their loan accounts into non-performing assets and said, under the Modi government, banks for the first time got their money back from defaulters. She said that actions have been taken, including registration of FIRs against those who have cheated small saving depositors through various fraudulent activities. She said the Reserve Bank of India is also monitoring activities of app-based financial companies. Responding to questions by T.R. Balu of the DMK about the government's action against loan defaulters and NPAs, the minister said writing off loans does not mean complete waiving off, and the banks are following every loan to recover the outstanding amount. She said for the first time in the country under the Modi government, the banks got their money back from many NPAs, while during the UPA government, no money was recovered from the NPAs. Sitharaman's remarks invited sharp reactions and protests by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of the Congress. Earlier, the minister said the Financial Resolution and Deposit Insurance Bill 2017 was introduced in the Lok Sabha in August 2017 and thereafter was referred to the Joint Committee of Parliament for examination and reporting thereon. The main objective of the FRDI bill was to create a specialized resolution mechanism for selecting financial sector entities. Earlier, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla today declined the opposition's demand for a discussion on the issue of fuel prices hike after suspending question hour, saying he would give them enough time and opportunities to raise the matter during 0 hour. As soon as the House met at 11 a.m. after the weekend break, Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Trinamool Congress's Sudeep Bandyopadhyay and DMK's T.R. Balu demanded that the House should discuss the fuel price hike. They shouted slogans against the Modi government, demanding the withdrawal of the hike in fuel prices. However, the Speaker said the first hour, which is reserved for questions, should be allowed to function without interruption, and he would allow them to raise the issue during the 0 hour at noon. Birla said he will not allow forced adjournment of the House, as the question hour is vital to raise people's issues. Following the Speaker's appeal, opposition members returned to their seats.
And now a review of proceedings in the Rajya Sabha. Writer is Rajesh Ahuja of UNI. The Rajya Sabha took up discussion on the Appropriation Bill 2022 today to authorize payment and appropriation of certain sums from and out of the Consolidated Fund of India for the financial year 2022-23. It also took up discussion on the Finance Bill 2022. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman moved the Appropriation Bill 2022 and the Finance Bill 2022 for the consideration of the House. Initiating discussion on the bills, Shakti Singh Gohil of Congress said the tax structure in the Finance Bill is sure to increase gap between the rich and the poor. Sushil Kumar Modi of BJP praised the COVID management of the government during the last 2 years. Bill Gates praised India's COVID management, he said. He said during the NDA rule, exports have risen to record levels. On opposition accusing the government of failing to rein inflation, Sushil Modi said countries like the United Kingdom and the United States have witnessed record levels of inflation, while the inflation level in India is at 6.07% compared to record high inflation levels during the UPA rule. The discussion remained inconclusive. Earlier, the Rajya Sabha witnessed stormy scenes on the issue of hike in prices of cooking gas and edible oil. The opposition uproar on the issue forced the adjournment of the House during the 0 hour. After the laying of papers, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu said that he has received notices from several members under relevant rules for a discussion on the issue of hike in prices of cooking gas and edible oil. He, however, rejected the notices. This led to protests by opposition members who shouted slogans against the government. Amid the uproar, Chairman adjourned the House till noon. When House reassembled at 12, Deputy Chairman Harivansh took up proceedings of question hour. In reply to a question, Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said the government has plans to start 1,000 LNG stations near highway. He said that 50 of these are planned to be set up in the next few years. In reply to another question, Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, who is also the Minister of Urban Affairs, said the government is moving rapidly towards meeting the objectives of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana to provide a Pakka house to every person in the country. The dream of the Prime Minister is to provide a Pakka house for every person in the country. Responding to a question, Minister of State for Defence Ajay Bhatt said that a foreign direct investment of 3,343 crore rupees has been made in the last 7 years. In reply to a question, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said the government is making all efforts to strengthen the defence public sector undertakings. Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said the government is coming up with different projects to check the decrease in population in the country. Vijay Sai Reddy of YSR Congress, M. Tambidurai of AIADMK, Sukhendu Shekhar Roy, Amar Patnaik of BJD, Vishambar Prasad Nishad of Samajwadi Party, Praful Patel of NCP, Syed Zafar Islam of BJP, Birendra Prasad Bhashya of AGP. That's all in Parliament Review. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
क्या आप कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम की तैयारी कर रहे हैं? ऑल इंडिया रेडियो के नए प्रोग्राम अभ्यास में हमारे विशेषज्ञ आपके सवालों का देंगे जवाब। शनिवार रात 9:30 बजे FM गोल्ड पर। इस बार का विषय है हिस्ट्री। आप इससे जुड़े सवाल व्हाट्सएप करें 9289094044 पर या सवाल ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं। अभ्यास abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर। इतिहास विषय पर आपके प्रश्न हमें 30 मार्च तक मिल जाने चाहिए। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
FSSAI has launched Food Safety Connect app for food business operators and consumers. Download this app from Google Play Store and easily apply for FSSAI registration. Consumer can use this app to register food-related complaints.
Welcome back to the evening news from All India Radio. President Ramnath Kovind presented the Padma Awards at the Civil Investiture Ceremony 2 held at Rashtrapati Bhavan this evening. Mr. Kovind presented the Padma Vibhushan to veteran Hindustani classical vocalist Dr. Prabha Atre. Former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Kalyan Singh was given the second highest civilian award posthumously. The Padma Bhushan was presented to Krishnamurti Ella and Suchitra Ella of Bharat Biotech, which produced the COVID-19 vaccine Covaxin. Oriya Literature Dr. Pratibha Ray, veteran jurisprudence scholar Acharya Vashishtha Tripathi, and actor Victor Banerjee. India-born Mexican scientist Dr. Sanjaya Rajaram was given the award posthumously. Tokyo Paralympics gold medalist Pramod Bhagat and Sumit Antil, Tokyo Olympics gold medalist Neeraj Chopra, singer Sonu Nigam, tribal AO author T. Senka Ao, Kathak dancer duo Kamalini and Nalini Asthana, wood-carving artist from Ladakh Sering Namgyal, veteran Kalaripayattu exponent Shankara Narayana, Menon Chundayil, and veteran Lavani singer Sulochana Chauhan got the Padma Shri. Polish scholar Dr. Maria K. Brisky and Ireland's Professor Rutger Kortenhorst received the Padma Shri for popularizing Sanskrit. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Chief Justice of India Justice N.V. Ramana, Home Minister Amit Shah, along with several other dignitaries, were present on the occasion. President Ramnath Kovind will felicitate the winners of the 3rd National Water Awards at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi tomorrow. During the event, the President will also launch the Jal Shakti Abhiyan. Catch the Rain campaign 2022 will continue to be implemented this year till the 30th of November 2022. The Ministry of Jal Shakti is giving 57 awards to states, organizations and individuals in 11 different categories, including Best State, Best District, Best Village Panchayat and Best Urban Local Body.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the Graha Pravesham of about 5.21 lakh beneficiaries of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen in Madhya Pradesh via video conferencing tomorrow. He will also address the gathering on the occasion. It has been the constant endeavour of the Prime Minister to provide Pakka house with all basic amenities to every needy family of the country. This marks yet another step in this direction. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has said that the 5th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha will be held on the 1st of April at 11 a.m. He said during this participatory outreach program, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with the students who will appear in the board examination. Briefing media in New Delhi this evening, Mr. Pradhan said it is being organized at Talkatoora Stadium in Delhi. This is All India Radio giving you the news.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर
8700014242।
Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur, who is in Dubai today, had a detailed discussion with CEO of Dubai Corporation for Tourism and Commerce Marketing, Issam Kazim. They talked about various strategies adopted by Dubai in respect of tourism sector to make it a preferred tourism destination for the world. Mr. Kazim mentioned that India has great potential in tourism and India can utilize the unique aspects of key cities or states and focus on the strength. He said India's IT talent benefits the global industry, which can be promoted as a strength. He said India has a great potential in the VFX sector and Dubai is not a movie-producing city like India, and the gap can be filled by support from India. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur invited Mr. Kazim to India to discuss further on collaboration opportunities in the tourism and media and entertainment sector.
The BJP today condemned the ruckus in the West Bengal Assembly, blaming the ruling TMC for the scuffle in the State Assembly on the Birbhum violence. Senior party leader and Union Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said, "This is an attempt to destroy democracy." Talking to reporters outside Parliament, he said the people of the state had given their mandate to the Trinamool Congress to rectify its past mistakes, but it has failed to do so. On the suspension of BJP legislators, party MP Lockit Chatterjee alleged that the Assembly Speaker took action against the MLAs at the direction of Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee. She claimed that 5 MLAs were injured during the scuffle. Earlier, in a shocking incident, there was complete pandemonium inside the West Bengal Assembly today as the Trinamool Congress and Bharatiya Janata Party MLAs entered into a fight. The BJP MLAs came forward and said that they were assaulted by TMC MLAs inside the Assembly. Following the incident, the leader of the opposition in the West Bengal Assembly, Suvendu Adhikari, was suspended. The ruckus broke out after the BJP MLAs raised slogans over the Birbhum violence. More than 183 crore 26 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said more than 4 lakh 20,000 doses were administered in the last 24 hours.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address Matua Dharm Mahamela 2022 at Sri Dham Thakur Nagar, Thakurbadi in West Bengal tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. through video conferencing on the occasion of 211th birth anniversary of Sri Sri Harichand Thakur. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the 43-day holy pilgrimage to the cave shrine of Sri Amarnath Ji will commence on 30th of June with all COVID protocols in place. AIR Jammu correspondent reports that the yatra will culminate as per the tradition on the day of Raksha Bandhan on the 11th of August 2022. The online registration for the yatra will start from the 11th of April.
Pakistan's National Assembly on Monday resumed its crucial session where the opposition tabled the no-confidence motion against Prime Minister Imran Khan. Soon after, the session was adjourned till the 31st of March. Earlier, Interior Minister Sheikh Rashid said a no-trust motion would take place on the 4th of April. At the 94th Academy Awards ceremony, Will Smith won the first Oscar of his career for his performance in King Richard. Jessica Chastain won Best Actress for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. The Best Supporting Actress award was won by Ariana DeBose for West Side Story. In IPL cricket, Lucknow Super Giants were 109 for 4 in 15 overs before Gujarat Titans at Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. Earlier, Gujarat Titans captain Hardik Pandya won the toss and opted to bowl first.
The Sensex and the Nifty today witnessed modest gains amid mixed cues from global share markets. A report from the Business World.
The Sensex climbed 231 points or 0.40% to close at 57,593. The Nifty was also up 69 points or 0.40% to settle at 17,222. The rupee strengthened 4 paise against the US dollar. The domestic currency closed at 76 rupees and 17 paise per dollar. In the intraday trade, Brent crude was trading around $115.10 per barrel. Nishit Kumar for AIR News.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is likely to have strong surface winds during the daytime. The temperature will vary between 22 and 39 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected to be around 36 degrees. Chennai is likely to have a partly cloudy sky. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with the possibility of the development of thunder and lightning. Srinagar will have a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 8 and 26 degrees Celsius. Jammu, Leh and Gilgit are likely to have a mainly clear sky. Muzaffarabad will have a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. Visakhapatnam and Bengaluru will have a partly cloudy sky. Hyderabad will have a partly cloudy sky with the possibility of the development of thunder lightning. Thiruvananthapuram will have a partly cloudy sky with the possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong, Aizawl, Kohima and Itanagar will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Gangtok and Agartala will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we close, the headlines once again. Senior BJP leader Pramod Sawant sworn in as Chief Minister of Goa today for second consecutive term. Government to take appropriate action for mitigating price rise of crude oil following geopolitical tension between Russia and Ukraine. Lok Sabha passes Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2022 for inclusion of Darlong community in the list of Tripura. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar calls on President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in Colombo, assures him of India's continued cooperation and understanding with island nation. President Ramnath Kovind presents Padma Awards at Civil Investiture Ceremony 2 in Rashtrapati Bhavan. Former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Kalyan Singh given Padma Vibhushan posthumously. Ruckus in West Bengal Assembly over Birbhum violence issue. BJP leader Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi blames ruling TMC for scuffle. Oscar Awards 2022 announced in Los Angeles. Will Smith wins first Oscar as Best Actor. Dune wins 6 awards and Coda takes 3. In IPL cricket, Lucknow Super Giants were 116 for 4 in 15.4 overs before Gujarat Titans at Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.